Hi there, this is Sherry Simpson. I'm a transformational life coach. I do Akashic record readings, and I've just started doing past life consultations. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, then I'll leave my information below. I also do card readings. So I wanted to pop on and share with you some information and pull some cards about the full moon that is on the 26th. So we're in the month of August, and the month of August is an 8 month, and 8 is about infinity, it's about personal power, it's about empowerment. And the full moon is on the 26th, and the 26th, the 2 and the 6 also add up to 8. So it's an 8-8 day. We're in an 11 universal year. Whenever I think of the 11s and the 8s together, I think of the 11s being the pillars for us, where on one side is our human egoic self, and on the other side is our spiritual self. And when we see the 11s all the time, it's as though our spirit team is saying, you're doing a fantastic job. You're whole and complete where you are, and you're moving more and more towards wholeness and completeness. So walk through those pillars and allow yourself to complete. And this is where the 8s come in for me, to complete that connection between the ego self and the spiritual or higher self. And so when I see the 8s, I always think about them tying together in a sense of being limitless and unlimited and infinite. And the interesting and cool thing about this month is we just moved into Virgo season, and Virgo is an earth sign. So for much of the last couple of months through the spring and the summer, we had a whole bunch of planets in retrograde. We still do. We had the 3 eclipses that all came in a row, and what happened was that we were stirring the pot and getting rid of stuff, especially thoughts and beliefs, and some physical stuff that didn't serve us anymore. And we're still doing a little bit of that. We're still doing a little bit of clear up and clean out. But the cool thing that's going on now as we pop into this next season of Virgo is that it's time for us, and actually the first card that came through kind of made me laugh. I'm glad I shuffled them and pulled them ahead of time, because it took forever for some of these cards to come out. But the first card that came out for you was the throat chakra card in reverse. And what this makes me think, usually your throat chakra is about you speaking your truth, and it's about what you're listening to and hearing. And it's about you tapping into speaking your own divine truth. And the interesting thing about it being in reverse when it came in was that we've been learning that cycle since the beginning of the year, so over the last 8 months. And it's as though now it's time for us to step into that Virgo earth energy and actually start acting the way that we want to speak in physical. So it's really time for us to tap into that 11 and to actually connect our wholeness. It's time for us to speak how we feel on the inside. It's time for us to act in the way that we're speaking. So it's like walking our talk. So I really get the sense that this is going to be the beginning of another abundance cycle for us, or a first abundance cycle, and finally in this year, where we're actually going to start seeing things physically and tangibly in our hands, that we're actually able to bring in more abundance, and we're actually able to connect in and receive a lot of the things that we've really only given ourselves permission to desire in the past and to want in the past, but not actually to receive. So this month we're actually asked, in order to stop talking about stuff we don't want and to actually start taking actions on the things that we do. And now the next thing that came through, I was sort of laughing again, because the next 3 cards are technically all 7s. So the first card that came through was about choosing your battles. And when I see the 7 card, I often think about connecting into who you are at soul, or at source level, and then manifesting that into the physical. So the 7 is about instant manifestation, when you are in alignment with who you are and how you manifest. And so when I see something like this, you can see that the fellow here is standing with his feet very wide, and that usually means that he's off balance, or he's trying to be really grounded. We are going to be more grounded this month because it is an earth month. We are going to be more into doing more physical things. So when it comes to choosing your battles, you see all these 3 different faces, and I take them to be the colors of the chakra. So when it comes to choosing your battles, you want to determine, are you choosing to speak your truth and listen to the truth according to your throat chakra? Are you choosing your battles from your place of the heart center? Is your heart center balanced in how you're giving and how you're receiving, and how you're setting an expectation of how others are are meant to treat you based on how you're treating yourself. So can you choose your battles based on, oh, wait a minute, all the people around me are reflecting back anger. Maybe I should check in with myself and see if I'm angry. And if I'm angry, then the only thing I can do about this battle that I'm experiencing is to help heal the anger within me. And by doing physical things this month, like physically working out, taking the bath, going for walks, and doing some of that impact physical thing, you're going to help yourself release some of those pent up energies and thoughts and beliefs, and actually get them out of your physical body by doing something physical. And this one here is the orange or sacral chakra. And the orange or sacral chakra, it's kind of yellow, so we could call it the solar plexus, but it looks more orange to me. The orange chakra is about you connecting in with yourself, your source, and your closest relationships, and really stepping into creating things. So when it comes to you choosing your battles, how are you connecting with the people around you? How are you connecting with yourself from the heart place? And how are you speaking your truth? And if the people around you are not doing things based on how you're expecting them to act, or they're not bringing things to you the way that you feel that you're sending out your vibration and asking for a manifestation of such a match to return to you, then how can you step into, okay, so the battle energy is not necessarily good, because when I create more battle, the universe brings me more battle. So how do I step into a place of integrity and step into a place of this is for my highest good and the highest good of all? And how do I act on these things from a different place that will allow you to step into who you are at source and who you are at soul, and manifest into the physical exactly what it is that you desire? And I wanted to say deserve, but deserving is like one of those human experiences that it's not really true. It's one of those egoic things, just like unworthiness. Unworthiness and undeservingness are something that we created almost as a society, that we don't feel worthy and that we don't feel deserving of having more, of being more, of doing more. And that's just a limiting belief, because as souls in these physical bodies, we're actually unlimited. And that's part of what the 8 is teaching us, that we are limitless. So if you can step into that perspective and step into taking actions that are more in alignment with being limitless, then it's as though your battles are kind of going to go away, and your battles are going to be more about you acting in your truth rather than fighting for something that you believe in. It's not about fighting, because the fighting energy is going to bring you more things to fight for. So in terms of choosing your battles, allow yourself to move from the I want to fight for this, to move more into this is peaceful, this is joyful, this is blissful, this is successful, this is valuable, this is awesome, this is fun, this is adventurous, this is freedom. See if you can actually change your perspective and the way that you're battling your life and the people in it to be from a different perspective. The next card that came through was rebuild, and it ends up being a 7 card as well. So rebuild makes me think we're actually rebuilding, because we're in the earth sign of Virgo at this time. We're literally rebuilding how we love ourselves by acting now. So in the past several months, we were actually healing a lot of stuff. There was a lot of past life healing going on, and ancestral healing. And when we release those things, it's as though we do it from more of a mental and an emotional and a spiritual perspective. But now it's actually time for us to tangibly rebuild the things in our life that we do desire, based on loving ourselves and having this new sunny perspective. So I want you to tap into, it's interesting because in this picture, it's as though the past is actually lighting her up, as though you're taking the wisdom from your past, and you're actually taking that wisdom from her being hit by lightning through your heart center, and it's as though the sun is shining in your future. With the sun shining in your future, it's as though you can rebuild, because you have the energy now, because you're more vibrant, and you're tapped into your creativity, and you're tapped into your confidence. So I want you to step into a place now at this full moon of celebrating all of the things that you have done, all of the things that you've released, all of the things that you've created, and now stepping into a place of what is it that I'm going to build next, because that's what I'm acting on over the next month. And the last card that came through was also a 7. It was the Crown Chakra card. And the Crown Chakra card, you can see that it's pink, and the pink color usually has to do with self-love and tapping into who you are at soul level, tapping on into your deepest desires. And literally when you are tapped into that place, can you take the actions rather than speaking about what you're going to do? Can you actually physically change what you're doing? Can you choose to act from a place that is not about battles, but is actually about you creating what you want rather than fighting what you don't? Can you rebuild yourself from a place of, I have this electric energy now that is actually source fusing through me, as though source is actually giving us this energy, and it's coming through your heart center, and it's like really sunny. The sun is really interesting because the moons are usually about the feminine, the spiritual, and nurturing and nourishment, and it's like the feminine side of the body, the left side of the body, sort of the dark side, the inside. But the sun is actually about you actually in the physical, you in the logical, you in your masculine side, you in your taking action side. So this card is making me think that you're taking the wisdom from your past, you're moving it through your heart, and you're acting now through this Virgo season, and doing it from a really heart-centered place. So I love that the heart came through twice here, that her heart-centered energy, and the energy of the 7th chakra. And the 7th chakra is about you being connected into all that is. It's about you feeling that you're not alone because you are connected to the oneness. You are a piece of the light, you are a piece of source, and the source coming through you as you experience things in this life. You actually are expanding the consciousness because you are a piece of the light. So it's very interesting that if you are deciding to do nothing and stay at status quo in this lifetime, that you're not actually guiding or expanding the rest of the universe and the oneness around you because you're not growing and expanding. As soon as you decide to become a new person, to do something new, to change your focus or to act in a different way, you're helping the whole of reality expand. And that is, I think that's so cool. It's like we're helping the collective by helping ourselves. So that is my message for you for the full moon. I hope you have a beautiful month. If you do want a personal reading, I'll leave my information below. And I hope to contact you and be interacting with you soon. So namaste. Have a beautiful full moon.